Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Henry. This channel is a channel that we break down foreign language in video games. Right now we're doing the Tarkov edition and we are breaking down the Russian alphabet today. Stay tuned and enjoy. Alright, the way that we like to do things around here is one of two ways. Either you're just a passive learner and sit back, relax, and follow along. I suggest getting yourself one of these things, write down these examples. If you want to learn the Russian alphabet as fast as fucking possible, you need to lock in and learn it real quick because it ain't that hard. All right, let's get right into it. First order of business is the letter A. It is the same as in English. So as you can see on the screen in the word, the first word on the left, which says bratan, which translates to brother. A is written very easily, just like we write it, capital A, and the lowercase a also is the same. All right, the next letter in the Russian alphabet is the B, and it looks way different than what you and I are used to in the English language. The capital B in Russian looks very similar to what we see in the first letter in the words that we see of bratan. And the lowercase version of that would be as such, as you see in the second word, which is baran, which means ram. The next letter is the G, and we can see that here in on the poster right in front of us. The first three letters are not of our concern right now. We're going to be focusing on the fourth letter in the first word, the top word, starting with the M. The M should be familiar to your English speakers as M. And that is the Russian G, written like that in the uppercase, and the lowercase is simply written like this. And if you ever see it in cursive writing, because you never write in block letters in Russian, so you'll see it like that. All right, the next letter is the D, and it is a funny looking letter. It's not familiar to us English speakers. Gear your gaze to the last word of the poster, and it is the second to last letter. So it's right next to the A. If you look at it's almost like a pyramid. We've covered this letter before in my videos, and that is the Russian D. Here's the uppercase, and then here is the lowercase. Super simple, right? Just a bigger version of it is uppercase and a smaller version is lowercase. And if you ever come across this in cursive, I'm about to blow your mind right now. It is written as a G. Right? Ain't that crazy? The next letter in the Russian alphabet is a doozy. This is the weird X with the lightning bolt in the middle, also known as the zh. The zh, right? So it's like the sound a chainsaw makes. Zh. And we see the letter here written on the wall. It is the third letter. So you got the first letter, 2 being the Y, and then the one we're mentioning right now, the zh, is the one right after the Y. And that is written as if you wanted to start doing like a C, backward C in the English language, and then you simply do like a Harry Potter lightning bolt right in the middle, right? And then finish it off with a C, right? If you want to be super fancy, you can do it quick, and that is very easily discernible. Next letter is the Z, and we're going to go back to the poster that we were at earlier and look at the word right next to the last word. So we've gone over a couple of letters in that last word, so you should recognize the G, the G. We haven't gone over the O, but the O is the same in the English language as it is in Russian. It's just pronounced O, so it's only the short O in Russian. Then we have the D. Then we also have the A, but we're going to be talking about the Z, which is in Russian it's literally 3. That's the Z for you, and the lowercase is written like that. You will also see it written like that in cursive. Nothing too complicated. Moving on. This poster has just so many goodies, so I got to make sure I cover everything. Look at the last letter of the second word. Looks like this. Backwards N with a little hat over it. In Russian, that is called the I kratkaya. And that's, for us, I'm just going to translate that to the E with a little hat over it. But I kratkaya is the official name of that letter. And it's pronounced Y, right? So not like yeah, but Y. I'll put the H there for us just for shits and giggles. Written like this in the capital, and then you can also write it just like that. Sorry. And like this in the lowercase. Just always have that little hat. And writing it in cursive is way different. You're actually going to use the letter U with a hat over it. And that's how you write it in cursive. Please divert your attention to the second to last letter in the third word on the poster, and that is going to be the L in the Russian language. In block letters, you will also see it written like this, and in block letters, you will also see it in lowercase, you will see it as it is here, just like that. You also see it as a little L2. Now in cursive, it's very similar to the English cursive, right? So you'll see it like that as well as uppercase, and just like that in lowercase. Also on this poster is the brother of the I kratkaya, which we just went over, the E, which is simply for us the backwards N without the hat over it. And that also is written in the lowercase, similar to the I kratkaya written as a U in cursive. And in cursive, you'll write this as a U in both uppercase and lowercase in cursive. So if you see a U, when it's all like squiggly writing, it is the E, right? So for us, this is the long E sound pronounced E. Get ready for a small little review while introducing a new letter. The new letter that I'm going to be introducing is not the M. These are the letters that are the same in the English language as they are in Russian, and they remain the same with the sound that they produce. So the ones that are the same are the M, right, in block letters. So if it's printed, the M will always look like an M, and it will be an M. The T will also remain the same if it's printed. It will look different in cursive, but we'll go over that later. The O remains the same. It is the short O, right? We also have the K remaining the same, and the A. Those are all of the same letters in the Russian language that translate into the English language. Now, knowing this, a letter that is very different in our language is the H. And in Russian, it is pronounced N or N. All right, knowing this and reviewing the letters that we've already gone over in this video, we can read the first word. The first word starts with an M, then it goes to an N, an O, goes to a G, and then an O. Listen to me say it first and then repeat after me. Mnogo. I know that you see an O at the end. You probably said mnogo, right? But they soften, or Russians, they soften the last O, usually at the end of a word, similar how we do goin', feelin', walkin'. They soften the O. So here it's mnogo. They also soften in other cases the O. You just have to listen to someone say the actual word, and you'll know where to put that A sound. And that's the only it's the only sound or letter in the Russian language that will make a different sound of what it's actually written. So again, mnogo. What does that mean? It means a lot. A lot. And you can say, hey, how much money do you have? I got mnogo. Hey, how often do you play Tarkov? Mnoga. A lot. Pat yourself on the back. You just read your first word in Russian. So as I mentioned before, the K remains the same, but here we're going to talk about another letter, and that is the P in our language. In Russian, that is the R. And try to roll your R's. So it's R, right? Going over that. So it's going to be R. That's going to be our R. As I mentioned before, the T remains the same. You'll see that also here. You'll also see another weird letter. It looks like a 4. And that is in the, or transliterated to the English language. The letter makes a sound, and that sound is ch, like chip on my shoulder, right? Ch, ch. The backwards R will make the ya sound. We've gone over this in a previous video as well, but here, in light of the fact that we're going over the entire Russian alphabet, it serves its purpose here as well. All right, stick with me on this last stretch. These are all of the last letters in the Russian language, starting with the F, which is this weird little dang-a-lang looking thing right here. You can also see it written like so, which is the perfect example. It's the perfect time to show you the example. Look at the banner and look at the phone number in the bottom right of the banner, 567-7758. The word right to the left of that number, you will find this letter in there. And we know all of the letters in that word, and let's read it together. Telephone. And that says telephone. It's a telephone number. Perfect. So we covered that. The next letter is right above the phone number. You'll find it, as for us, it looks like a Y, but in the Russian language, you will pronounce it as an U. It's the short U sound, U. The backwards euro symbol, but don't confuse it with the Z. Here, the backwards euro symbol will make the short E sound, or right? The The next letter is not on the banner, but it is the H sound like we have for Henry. If we want to write Henry out, it would look like this. Backwards euro sign, the N, the R, right? And then the backwards, the R, and the backwards N. Henry. The next letter is the upside down block style McDonald's sign and the upside down McDonald's sign with a tail on it. And they're very similar but differently pronounced. The first one, if you've ever whistled through your teeth before, I'd like for you to not say, so the sound that we're going to be making is the sh sound, not sh, like shushing someone. It's going to be in here. I'm just going to write it like this with a ch, just to make that distinction that you're essentially just, you're not making the sh sound exactly. It's sh. Whistle through your teeth. Extend that lower jaw and go sh, 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 right? Next letter is the one with the tail, and this one is quite easy. This one actually has the sh in it, but it just has a ch at the end. So sh. This letter is sh. And I'll put an example here on the screen of how that looks like printed out. It's actually, you'll find this letter on the ambulances in Tarkov. The next letter is the ts, which you will also find on the ambulances in Tarkov, and it makes the ts, like if you were to imitate how jazz players or their onomatopoeia for the symbol, tss, tss, you know, like that. Right. The next one is the IKEA table, and that is the P sound in Russian. Next one is my favorite letter in the Russian language. It is yo. And it is simply for us an E with 2 dots over it. Sometimes you'll see 1 dot, but it just depends on the printing of said letter. But an E with any kind of dot over it is yo. Next one is a very weird slanted, or it's a sideways T with an O attached at the bottom of it. And that is the U sound. U. If you ever see this letter, that's the sound that it makes. Moving on, we have the soft sign and the hard sign. These two have a very long history between them. The soft sign, you can actually see it right above in the word next to, or starting on the right hand side of the banner is the DAL, and then the soft sign, you'll see it. It's the first word on the right hand side of the banner, and it is dal. But with the soft sign in there, it actually becomes le, dal. And essentially, for us English, to equate that for us, it would be saying, instead of loser, you would say loser. Like, you would say it weird. You would just soften the L in a sense. And that's exactly what this does. The soft sign softens whatever letter it is next to a degree that it does influence the way it is said. Now, this sign has been deprecated and is very rarely seen in modern day printing and modern day literature. You will find it in old literature, and you will find it in old poems. It is a very ancient symbol. Very, like I said, very rarely used. If you do come across it, it is few and far between. But be aware of this symbol. All right, last letter that we're going to go through or go over is it's a combination of, it looks like two letters, but it's one letter. And we have an example of it actually in the word underneath expo. So here's a little quiz. Try to find the word expo. We have all of the words, we have all the letters that make up the word expo. And we can actually find that underneath that word. And I need you to kind of, hear me out here again. Summon that inner dumb fuck and just go, "Ugh." That is the sound this letter makes. It is, "Ugh." And it's not "I," right? It's not that hard "I" sound, as we know is like shit, right? No, I need you to go shit, right? I need you to go "Ugh" in the back of your throat. And I'm just gonna write it down as a double I to make that distinction, that it needs to be in the back here. And that's it, folks. You've accomplished a feat. If you have never been introduced to the Russian alphabet before, well, congratulations. You've actually read a couple of words in this video. You've started to become more familiar with the Russian alphabet. Thank you for sticking around. You know what to do. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting, and stay tuned for more videos. Cheers.